Kyle Durden. It's an honorable mention podcast, except it's video. And Mr. Hagedorn asked me to give a little bit of my background as far as the TV title tournament back in the ROH days, back when I had hair, back when I had abs, and back when TV was a thing that I found myself on every week. So the memory of the TV title tournament is that the delay between its actual filming and its actually showing up on TV. It was a ridiculous amount of time from the beginning to the end. You could kind of blame a snowstorm in the middle of it that hit the entire city of Philadelphia during it. I remember it happened right in between the 2 days that we were filming it, to the point where it was one of the first times that Ring of Honor had to actually cancel the taping entirely, which for me, living in Orlando at the time, I was in Philadelphia, and my plan was to go see a girl I was dating in New Jersey. And here's a little advice for you guys. If you ever have a job that flies you somewhere and you have relationships with people in other places, figure out how to get your job to pay for you basically to go see the person you're dating, because that came in very handy. So basically they'd fly me into Philly, I'd hang out, and then I'd take a train or get picked up in some random way and go hang out in Jersey and then get flown back to Orlando all on the company dime, which is very smart. But that's beside the point. The whole thing is that the show gets canceled on day 2. I am stuck in Philadelphia with no way to get to Jersey, and basically I had to convince Hagedorn to give me a ride because the New Jersey train system was still working, but they canceled and shut down the Pennsylvania one, so the drive wasn't that far. So he basically drove me over the border the next day. We got woken up, and Adam Pearce, who was my producer at the time, which now works for Ring of Honor, works for WWE as basically a producer on SmackDown. Pearce calls me up, and he's like, "Where are you?" I said, I'm on Hagedorn's couch. He's like, no, we got to get to the arena. We got to do pre-tapes. Because at the time we used to do pre-tapes before the show began, interviews and all sorts of things. So you got to get here for pre-tapes. And I kind of like freaked out. Hagedorn reminded me of this. I freaked out because this actually happened twice. I freaked out. I thought everything was there because I had to make everybody happy. And I was like, I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do this. Ha ha ha, just joking, after I had a panic attack. So Hagedorn gets me to the train station. I'm on the train, and then I get another text message that just says, seriously, though, we're all at the arena. Where are you? And at that point, I kind of just accepted that it was BS and he was fucking with me. But I remember that was stressful. Trying to think what other memories we have of the TV title tournament. I remember Lagana brought the belt to the tapings. Lagana, now the vice president of the National Wrestling Alliance with William Corgan. Shout out. They brought the TV title with them. And at the time, the TV title was a very weird-looking blue and gold, and there was like a satellite dish on it and everything, to the point where I, using social media at the time before it was huge, was like, I'm just going to put a little picture of it. And it was a picture that was like upside down and backwards, so you couldn't really tell what the belt was. But the recollection was before anybody else had seen the title belt, they had seen it on my Instagram, and they were going on and on about how ugly it was and how it was a horrible idea. So there was a little flack about that. The TV title tournament was right at the very end when they finally had it. They had to reconvene and do the next part of it later on. The other issue with the TV title and almost everything in the ROH HD Net era was that trying to have TV written to make sense. So essentially, you have actual events happening and actual things happening at your live events for a TV program that's not going to air for like a month out. So the entire reason of having a TV title was a great idea. It's a nice throwback to the way things once were. But at the most part, it was a shit show. If you listen to the podcast, you know that we've always had the Ring of Honor contenders, that pick six, like all these little things that were supposed to be a hierarchy of who was in what line for what title. And at the end of the day, functionally, it was just a nightmare. My memories of the tournament are essentially Blizzard, stress, and also towards the end of the HDNet era and me being like, am I going to have a job? So thanks, Jim Cornette, for answering that second question. The answer was no. Appreciate that. An honorable pod, great show, great thing. I'm glad that somebody's keeping the past alive. And then one day, hopefully, we'll have one with just the HDNet era, and I can hop on there and give you some of the background advice because my handsome face used to be the broadcaster. For Kyle Durden, an honorable pod, back to you.